Hi, I'm Durbin. For today's poetry video, I decided to gander through the Future Fire Literary Magazine. The poem I'll be reading is titled Drown Me by Hester J. Rook, which was published in 2020. The writing theme for this week is details. I selected this poem because the title was definitely intriguing, and I thought it related to this week's theme because the imagery is full of details. Also, glancing at the form with the mixture of the long and short lines gave me a feeling that I would expect tension and a shift in the pacing of reading the piece. Now I'll read Drown Me. Drown me. Fill every secret part of me with water. Let the waves surge over my skin, caress in that foam-tossed way that prickles and pulls and shivers. Drag me under. Fill my mouth with salt until I'm gagging. Bind my wrists with kelp. Anchor me to the seafloor and soak me. I want the tides to roll over me like trains, catch my hair so it streams, an alien crown, my limbs pinwheeled and vulnerable to the ocean, deeply offered up. Spread me and dissolve me under the weight of water, the heaviness of salt. Kiss me with brine and oyster shells, and memories of the sun tug at my blue lips. I have made space for you, down to the gaps between my arched teeth, among the circles of sand gripped between my fingertips. Let the ocean enter to places touched only by sky. Let the currents slide across my skin and seek. Let my eyes fill with translucent green and abyssal black, stars behind my vision and whales overhead. And then, when the ocean is finished with me, fling me onto the sand in a fracture of light, and watch me gasp forbidden air. I can relate to this piece in some way because the images in the scene remind me of how I feel when I'm dealing with anxiety or the emotional roller coaster I sometimes experience with my boyfriend. Although I do not invite the anxious feelings that seem to drown me, I can definitely imagine myself being pulled down by the kelp and gasping for breath under the weight of the waves. Anytime I describe what anxiety feels like, I always compare it to drowning in the ocean. I really love the imagery and word choice in this piece. The poet takes what would be a frightening experience and makes it sound beautiful and romantic. I could be reading into this totally differently compared to someone else, but this poem made me think about the feelings someone may have when falling deep in love. By comparing it to the ocean, there is chaos, but also a sense of calm, which both seem portrayed here. Love can be a crazy and confusing feeling, but in this scene, the speaker seems like she's vulnerable and willing to give in to love, and everything that comes with it, good and bad. Regarding the romantic language choices, she uses words and phrases like caress and kiss me to make what is happening seem overwhelming yet pleasant at the same time. The lines, let the waves surge over my skin, caress in that foam-tossed way that prickles and pulls and shivers, made me think about the butterflies in the stomach, goosebumps kind of feeling one might get when holding hands or being intimate with someone they love. Besides playing with language and images, I think poets can learn a lot about choices and line breaks from this poem. I thought the lack of stanza breaks kind of resembled a tide where the waves recede, crash onto the shore, pull back, and repeat. If this is the intention, I think it perfectly illustrates the motion of the fluid and flowing water. The shorter lines in the beginning and in the end create more emphasis because the reader pauses and reads more slowly, dragging out the expression of lines like drown me, drag me under, and soak me. The introduction of the longer lines add to the building tension in a way that kind of compares to waves building momentum before crashing onto the shore. The pace of reading quickens, reflecting moments of anxiety until the line, and then, which shifts this rising tension and makes the readers pause in suspense before returning to the calm. In response to Drown Me, I challenge you to write a poem that takes a moment that appears tragic or frightful and describe it in ways that depict it as a different experience. Thank you for listening.